Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, here to show you guys my top 3-point guards in NBA 2K23. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be showing a little bit of diversity. I feel like it's a little bit obvious that 6'9", 6'8" are ruling the game, so we do still have that listed. We have the 6'9" right here and the 6'8". I'm going to classify these as the same build though. They're very similar and really the meta of the game, so we're just going to talk about that in the early part of the video. But then we have two other options. The 6'6", which is a very good two-way type build. As you saw in the thumbnail, these 6'9", 6'8" are kind of the do-it-all demigods, the one that was listed in the blue text. We have the two-way, which is going to be listed in the red, which is a very good lockdown slash point guard build. And then we have the 6'3", which is the 3-hunter build, which has very high acceleration. As we all know by this point, acceleration is by far the most important thing as far as handling the ball as a small point guard. And then still has very good defense to protect itself as well, with a title 3-point shot creator that doesn't give away the fact that you have defense. So we'll get into all that stuff in today's video. I hope you all enjoy, and if you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all the good stuff. Like always, try to 2,000 likes. But just to start us off, I want to talk about how these, like I said, are my top 3. It's not the definitive top 3 point guard builds in the game. In my opinion, that's not even crackable as far as the code goes. There really is no such thing as the best guard build in the game, because obviously it's all up to preference. I feel like this game more than anything is all about preference than any other game for that matter. I mean, you obviously will struggle as a smaller guard if you're not very good on the sticks, but for my opinion, I really do think that your preference as far as what you upgrade is very up to your style in this year's game. So anyway, moving along, like I said, we have the 6'9", 6'8" are both going to be listed as kind of the same build. I just want to talk about the badge tier system between the two different builds and talk about how the 6'9" is probably a little bit better than the 6'8". But anyway, moving along. 6'9", 187 on the weight, 7'4" wingspan. You're able to get 86 3-pointer for the Hall of Fame Claymore. Not sure whether you want that or not. Obviously, like I said, this is a point guard build, so it's not meant to be a lock. But anyway, as far as what the build can do, has very solid ball handle. Obviously, as you can see, gets the gold quick first step. This is what all the 6'9" have been on for the most part. The thing that makes this also really nice is getting that 85 steal rating gives you the glove on the silver, and the very big benefit to being 6'9" is going to be your defensive badge tier system. Not to mention the finishing too. We'll get to that in a second. But the 6'9", as you can see, gets glove in tier 1 at silver for only 2 total points. As you can see, also gets challenger, clamps, and interceptor in the tier 2, and you really with this build do not have to run any tier 3 badges, which is very convenient off the fact that you only have 19 defensive badge count. So again, honestly, you may look at this badge count and be like, not that great a defense. I don't like it. Personally, this is my opinion. You're only going to run 4 between clamps, interceptor, and then another 5 for challenger. So that's plenty doable to run right there. You're probably going to core challenger on gold, and then at that point, you're going to spend 8 badge points between clamps and interceptor. Then you have 11 to work with between glove, ankle braces, menace, anything like that, box out beast on bronze, whatever you would like to run. The build can still plenty well rebound with 65 D-board. It's not going to secure on bigs by any means, but it can obviously still contribute in the aspect of just getting a hand in there for the defensive rebounds. Pretty much simply put like that. No O-board. I think this build is a little bit more of the 3-hunter, so to say, but to be fair, you do still have the driving dunk. I think you will feel the difference as far as, like, obviously with my Ben Simmons build, I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar if you're watching this. It's obviously very convenient if you're going to be a rim runner or someone who's going to be around the hoop very consistently to have a good offensive rebound, because you're going to be doing a lot of driving kicks. You're also extremely tall in this build for that matter as well at 6'9". So if you're someone who is a little bit more of the offensive focal point, you're constantly running the point guard and you want to run something like this, offensive rebound could be pretty nice to have, but again, you have to budget a lot of things because this build is the do-it-all. It's something that really is supposed to be doing it all, but as you can see, is only lacking on offensive rebound because you're not a big man at the end of the day. You're not a pick and roller. So it's up to you how you budget stuff. As you can see though, as far as perimeter defense goes, 86 is going to be extremely important. As you can see, challenger, clamps, workhorse, and ankle braces are all tied to this 86 rating instead of 85. I'm a huge fan of this, and once again tied in with being 6'9" for the badge tiering system, it's extremely convenient. As far as the playmaking goes, again, gold quick first step, very easy to run. You're probably going to run unpluckable on gold as well. Other than that, I don't really think you need any of these tier 3s. If you want handles for days, obviously that's a you thing, but personally, I think this rim run style is so easy to do with no handles for days. I mean, you can literally just take the open 3 if it's there. If it's not there, you just go to the hoop and dunk. But again, being a do-it-all build, you're obviously going to struggle a little bit before you can get the core badges, because you do have a very even badge spread of 18, 19, 20, and 19. So again, you're gonna very much depend on getting those core badges between like gold unpluckable. Is gonna be extremely convenient to have cord, but it's gonna be a little bit hard to gain as far as the progress goes. Quick first step is something that you can manageably do, but it's only gonna be 5 versus 7. So again, just a little bit of a grind and process as far as stuff like that goes, but you will eventually be able to run handles for days on silver. As far as the shooting goes, as you can see, you're able to get things like silver limitless range, which we will get at 85 3-pointer right here. Again, I just went up one on the 3-pointer. If you want to go 85 instead and don't really care about the claymore, you could obviously put that somewhere else throughout the course of your build. But 19 shooting badges really should be plenty fine. You're not going to be able to run Deadeye and blinders if you're running something like that, so just keep that in mind. Or if you want to put the majority of your extra badges into shooting, feel free to. You're obviously going to get the +4s. If you've hit level 39, you're going to get the extra +1 as well for 5, but I'm assuming most of you guys probably watching aren't really at that. But anyway, again, limitless range, probably the one given that I would run. If you want to run Deadeye, I think that's also a nice little like accessory badge to go with. Not many people have been a huge fan of blinders this year. I think running things like Green Machine and Agent 3 is also extremely convenient, and obviously again it's tier 2 right here, so Agent 3, Green Machine, plenty usable, and it takes up the majority of your like mandatory badges you have to run between the tier 1 and tier 2, with it being 9 between these two right here. And you could go ahead and run whatever you would like between any of these like tier 1 badges on bronze. Then boom, you could just run any of the silver badges, core it, and then get the other one on silver as well. But again, this build will depend on getting core badges pretty heavily. So as you can see, for the finishing though, very, very convenient. This is where we're going to compare really quickly after we showcase the 6'9" and talk about how the 6'8" is really at a really tough situation between the two builds when you compare them. So right here we have Limitless Takeoff in tier 2, which again, extremely convenient, and then Slithery in tier 1, once again, extremely convenient. So really for this build, you're going to be able to run 8 badge points worth of things between Limitless Takeoff and Slithery between tier 1 and tier 2, and boom, there you go. After that, you could probably run like Fearless Finisher up to the point of just bronze, and then after that, you have just enough for Gold Posterizer. Once you core Gold Posterizer, eventually you'll put it back into things like Fearless Finisher, Acrobat, Giant Slayer, whatever you would like to do between any of these extras. Not to mention, you can actually get Fast Twitch and Masher on gold with this build right here with 85 Close Shot. It's very good in my opinion. I think with this you can get away with the 80 driving layup. I love the jelly package. I love the circus package as well. I don't think you need long athlete to be a successful slasher in this game. I think jelly is plenty good, and again, very spread out badge spread as you can see with the 18, 19, 20, and 19. Again, nearly 80 badge points if you total it up, plus the +4s. As far as the takeovers, I have Slash and Lock on this. You can still get Sharp and Play, so Slash, Lock, Sharp, and Play is really, really cool as far as the 4 takeovers you can run on this. So again, I'm a big fan of the 6'9" for really the majority of the reasoning being the badge tiering. Again, Limitless Takeoff and Slithery being in tier 2 and tier 1, and then for the defense, off the fact that you have Glove in tier 1, and then all of the other important perimeter defensive badges in tier 2 with the Challenger, Clamps, and Interceptor. Really, really big time. I love that. So now let's compare to the 6'8" real quick and talk about why the 6'9" is so much better, but at the same time talk about the perks that 6'8" can get. So at the 6'8", we have obviously listed height that I just talked about, 186 on the weight, 6'11" wingspan, once again for 92 3-pointer. On this build, I decided to go with 85 driving dunk. We're only going to get enough finishing to be able to get Limitless Takeoff. I am going to suggest that you put 3 extra finishing badges on this because again, you're going to have to run at least 10 points between tier 1 and tier 2 to unlock the tier 3s. And again, here's the problem. If you are a slashing point guard, I truly do believe you want to go 6'9". I think 6'8" is so inconvenient as far as the tiering system. Again, Limitless Takeoff, Slithery, and Poster all being in tier 3 versus on the 6'9", we had Poster staying tier 3, but we had Slithery moving all the way down to tier 1 and Limitless Takeoff in tier 2, which made them even more convenient. And you're probably wondering like, oh, it's not that big a deal. I mean, they're expensive, but it's not that big a deal. Well, here's the thing. You can't equip these at all unless you have 10 badge points equipped between tier 1 and tier 2. So the fact that 2 of these badges were tier 1s and tier 2s already, then you could spend your extra leftover points on the tier 3 with Posterizer, was extremely convenient. So if you want to make a 6'8", I think it really should be an outside oriented build. I think if you make it with no driving dunk up to the point where like vertical is still okay and acceptable, no standing dunk, put like close shot extremely low, and you want to be a little bit more of a perimeter defensive build oriented and stuff like that, I think it's perfectly fine. We're going to showcase, however, the 6'6" for something like that instead of the 6'8". But last thing before we skip off this build, I just want to once again talk about how you do still have Interceptor in tier 2. However, Glove is now moving up from tier 1 to tier 2. Then we have Clamps and Challenger moving up to tier 3, which is very inconvenient, and it makes it really hard to run a lot of these badges and be able to have a lot of the nice like tier 1s like Box Out Beast, to have Workhorse at a decent level, Menace, anything like that. I mean, even Pick Dodger for that matter, if you're trying to play like on guard as far as ball and stuff like that. Or even for that matter, I'm a big fan of off-ball pest if you're playing off-ball in the corner and stuff like that too. But anyway, again, you can't afford to get all that if you obviously have Challenger and Clamps in the tier 3 and then still want to run Interceptor and Glove between tier 2. So just keep in mind, I think 6'9" are much better than 6'8", but the one thing that 6'8" does have as an advantage between that compared to the 6'9" is going to be the Hall of Fame quick first step, which is very, very convenient. You unlock this with the ball handling, obviously. And not to mention, you guys are going to see a lot of builds in today's video with lower speed and lower speed with ball than their maximums. I want to let you know, acceleration is your main key to actually getting open and like running as a point guard in the half court settings. Speed with ball is really just for like open court pro-am stuff where you're bringing the ball down the court type stuff, or rec center. Alright, and now this is where people are going to start to disagree as far as the video goes, as far as point guards. So, again, we have a 6'6", 180 on the weight, 7-foot wingspan, and this build is the absolute two-way demon. I'm telling you, this is going to be such a problem for people to deal with. People are sleeping on this. I know some people are going to be like, oh, the speed with ball, the speed, oh, the vertical, the strength, the lack of block, stuff like that. Listen, I'm telling you, you are going to protect yourself. You are still 6'6", you're still plenty tall, you can still rebound, you can still contribute to the box outs and stuff like that as well. Yes, you can't get shot blocks. Who cares? You have 99 steal. You have 93 pointers still with Hall of Fame quick first step, 89 ball handle. We still have a very high acceleration rating for the 6'6". Not to mention the perk of being 6'6", you get faster jump shots compared to the 6'8" and 6'9", so just keep that in mind as well. And once again, this steal rating is through the roof. We have 92 perimeter defense for gold Clamps as well, gold Challenger, 99 steal with Hall of Fame Glove, Hall of Fame Interceptor. Now, mind you, these are obviously a lot of tier 3s to balance though, so just keep that in mind. I think it's going to be a little bit of a hassle to run things like between 10 badge points between tier 1 and tier 2. So I would say probably like Hall of Fame Workhorse, you got maybe Bronze Rebound Chaser, Silver Box. That's enough points to account for literally like 7. Then we could even run Pick Dodger somewhere as well. And as you can see, you're probably going to want to put a couple of extra defensive badge points into this, and this is the two-way build. Keep in mind, I'm making this video for all different types of styles of people. So the first one that we showed of the 6'9" is the all-around demigod build that is going to be lacking in the offensive rebounding category, but still it can definitely carry the load as far as all 3 levels of scoring between driving dunk, 3-pointer, and then still being able to like handle the ball pretty well. I would say the 6'9's defense is a little bit more mediocre. Now, again, the 6'9" is the absolute meta of this game. That's a very obvious #1 point guard build in this game, and you could make the 6'9" 3 different ways and just call that the top 3 point guard builds in the game. But I wanted to show you guys a little bit of variety, a little bit of diversity, and not just show 3 different versions of the 6'9". So again, my #2 build as far as what I would suggest for point guards is something between like the 6'6" range, maybe 6'7", where you can be a legitimate lockdown while also being a point guard. Because again, maybe you play with randoms. Maybe you play with people that you don't have a full squad of. Maybe you do play with a full squad, but they're just bad. So this build can carry the load offensively and defensively. And again, you may think like, oh, well, what about the driving dunk not being anything and just the fact that you only have driving layup? Well, here's the thing. I know I've seen so many people talking about the lack of chase downs, which I do agree. The lack of chase downs is pretty crazy. Well, all I ask of you is to keep that same energy, because honestly, if you're still playing at a very good rate with this build, at the end of the day, we still have Hall of Fame quick first step, we still have the speed with ball high enough for the dribble styles of like the Michael Jordan and the LeBron James and stuff like that, so it's plenty doable. And then again, really good acceleration, which I know a lot of people are going to see this speed with ball and be like, oh, imagine calling this a point guard build when you only have 76 speed with ball. Again, we've seen the test. We've seen 2K2's video. We've seen all the outlandish stuff of people crying about the tall point guard builds to being super fast. At the end of the day, they only have 76 speed with ball. They only have like 77, 78-ish and stuff like that. Whereas, again, a lot of these small guards chose not to upgrade their acceleration at a very high level, and they can feel it. They can feel the pain of that. And I'm here to tell you guys, personally, if you're making a point guard build, you absolutely want to have a higher acceleration than speed with ball as the game currently stands. And again, another thing as far as the game currently stands, this build is very patchable. I'll put it like that. I think 2K, if there's two things that are very extreme as far as the patches that may come, eventually it would be speed with ball becoming more important as far as point guards go, and then steals probably getting patched as well. But neither have come so far, and we're almost a month into the game. So let's just keep that in mind, because gameplay may just stay the same in general. But let's talk about the build a little bit. Hall of Fame glove, 99 steal. Hall of Fame interceptor as well. You'll core badge one of these and be able to get the other. It will take you a little while, but I think glove is a little bit more doable than interceptor. You'll probably also be able to get gold clamps cored extremely easy as well. So I'll just recommend run like the majority of these three badges combined. But again, absolutely, if you're going with a build like this, put more defensive badges into it, because all of these important badges right here are tier 3s. You can kind of float between which badge you run as far as interceptor versus glove. I think if you plan to play on-ball lock a whole lot more, you could just take interceptor off, whereas if you're kind of stuck in a situation where maybe you aren't and you're playing as a point guard with another defensive player on the team, which would be crazy, because if you're running with like a pure lock on your team with this build at the 1, you now probably have 3 pure defenders, and you're going to be toxic. It's going to be so annoying. I'm here to tell you right now, me, Zeke, and Tonic, we played against a team that had a 99 steal build at running the point guard, and he was ISOing on the other end too, and it was insane. It was unbelievable. I will never, ever, ever recommend to you guys to make a low defensive build ever again after seeing something like that, because honestly, you can make such a crazy impact. And some people will probably have their whole lineup based off the fact that they can bully the point guard, they can take advantage of the point guard. He can't protect himself because he has no block, as this one still does have as well. But with this build, you can protect yourself on the passing lanes. 99 steal, albeit even if you run no interceptor, will still get crazy passing lanes. You still have 99 freaking steal. I mean, be realistic with it. And again, 92 Prim D can play absolutely like very good on-ball defense and still can definitely run point guard with. I mean, 93 pointer and obviously the Hall of Fame quick first step and 89 ball handle is plenty, paired with 88 acceleration as well. This build will lean on its defense a little bit more though. Again, this is meant to be a perimeter defender. You guard point guards, you run point guards. Simple as that. And again, there will be gaps in it, but that's just how this builder is. I mean, you can't have an elite three-pointer, a very elite ball handling, and then still have 99 freaking steal and 92 perimeter defense with gold clamps and expect to not have holes in your like finishing or a little bit of your playmaking aspect, or even in some cases the defense too. And again, this is my personal top 3 point guard builds, and once again, I will say for the last time in this video, you could really just make this video and make 3 different 6'9" builds, make one an outside, make one an inside, make one a balanced. That really could be the top 3 point guard builds in the game, but I wanted to showcase the 6'9" first as the best option, and then show you a couple of cool different options that you really could go with that are still plenty viable and plenty different in this game. So this one will get lock, play, sharp, and shot. We pretty much just substitute shot for the like slash take as far as the other build that we showcased, but personally, I'm not a huge fan of the shot creator takeovers. Low key though, fading is a very consistent way of getting your shots in this game, so if you would like to, absolutely feel free to, but I definitely would recommend to run something as far as a lock takes, as far as like even a secondary, because once you do get that team take activated, you're going to be wrecking havoc, man. It's going to be brutal out there. So anyway, the last build that we have to showcase right here is once again going to be a very two-way oriented build. Now, keep in mind that the title does not say anything about defense on your build. So people might be sleeping on that. If you want to not run lock takeover on this, you may surprise some people and really make them think that they can target you on defense. Now, I tweeted this build. I said, what you doing if this little dude pulls up on you? 6'3", 170 on the weight, 6'9" wingspan. It has 92 three-pointer, 94 ball handle with 93 acceleration, which once again, I really do think acceleration is a huge deal, and speed with ball is extremely overrated as far as what people deem is extremely useful for point guards. And as you can see, 99 steal on a 6'3" point guard that can absolutely just dominate the game on the offensive end as far as 3 hunting. Now, I think this build is very like skill oriented. I think you absolutely need to be good on the sticks to utilize this in a good way, because as any build that's below 6'6" or 6'7", 6'8", like everybody in this freaking game has, I think you're obviously going to always need to have good stick. I am also here to tell you right now, I have played against a guard, a small guard, that is extremely high on acceleration, really good ball handle, really good three-pointer, and can fade, and then also had really good defense as well, just like this one. And again, I'm telling y'all about this build because I really do think it's so freaking glitchy. It doesn't look good. It looks like it has so many holes in it. As you can see, block is missing, offensive rebound, defensive rebound, interior defense. You don't have strength, vertical. The speed is even low as well. The perimeter defense isn't great, but I am telling you guys, 99 steel protects you on the defensive end, between passing lanes, between getting posted up, between like being put in on-ball defense. People will not put the ball in front of your face, I promise you, and if they do, they're going to pay for it. And not to mention, once again, like I said, this build's title does not show anything as far as defense. It's literally just a 3-point shot creator, as you're going to see on the title right here. I mean, it really is crazy that this thing does have 99 steel. I think it's plenty good as far as a 3 hunting build as well. And not to mention, with your speed and ball handle and Hall of Fame quick first step and acceleration and stuff like that, I truly do believe that you can get yourself some rim runs even if you can't dunk the ball. So once again, we come back to talking about where do you put the extra badges on this build. It's obviously not going to be finishing. I think you debatably could do shooting if you want to be like a real 3 hunter where you could run limitless. You could also run Agent 3, and then you need a little bit more to be able to run either blinders or Deadeye. So I would definitely recommend maybe a little bit more shooting to be able to run like the mass amount of shooting badges that you have right here. You can obviously core one of them as well. So let's just talk about it. You have to have at least 10 to be able to get, you know, anything equipped as far as tier 3 goes. And then if you want to run at least 2 of them on gold and then core one to get the other like third one, you're going to need at least 1 more shooting badge point with 24, because if you add 7 and 7, that's 14. 14 plus 10 is going to be 24. So again, I would at least add 1 shooting badge to this build to be able to get 24. That's going to give you a very nice set as far as what you can run. The playmaking, however, is going to be a little bit different. I think the majority of things that you're going to run are going to be in tier 2 between hyperdrive, quick first step, and unpluckable. Those are obviously going to give you a couple unlocked between like the tier 3s as far as the gold playmaking badges go. I think really the only tier 3 you're going to run is likely going to be handles for days. I don't think clamp breaker, killer combos, or mismatch expert are very like necessary as far as that stuff goes, and they're not worth the budget compared to what hyperdrive, quick first step, and unpluckable are good for, in my opinion. And again, you can just core gold hands for days, be able to run hyperdrive, unpluckable, and Hall of Fame quick first step. Anything after that, it definitely is helpful, but I think those are the 4 badges you're really shooting for, as far, especially for like the 3 hunting and stuff like that as well. Hyperdrive, I think people sleep on as well. They think it's just a slasher badge or like a downhill one, but really I think it does just help you move with the ball a whole lot better. And again, glove, Hall of Fame. I mean, it really just goes such a long way. People, I mean, think about it. When you play against a build that's ripping you 24/7, you can't protect yourself. There's no way. When you post up, he's just playing behind you and getting those pluck steals. I've seen it myself. I've played on the 1v1 court, and let me tell you, playing on the 1v1 court against builds with high steal rating that can still play the point guard and like 3 hunt into easy rim runs because you have to respect their 3-pointer, and then they can just get to the hoop in a really easy fashion. I'm telling you, these types of builds are so freaking toxic. It's so annoying to play against, especially even on 3v3 as well, where really 3 hunting is going to be extremely convenient. You can still hit your big on slips. I think some people forget about that even being an option because they sit here and act like your point guard has to carry the offensive load 24/7. I don't know why, but anyway, again, I mean, when you 3 hunt really hard, it forces that hedge defender on the backside to step up to you extremely often, and when that is the case, you can hit those slips extremely easy, or you can still even play with a pick and popper on this and get the easy rim runs. I don't know why people act like driving layup isn't enough to finish in this game. They act like quick drops is some broken, like OP glitchy thing, when really it's just chase downs aren't that good. So personally, this is how I feel. And again, I'm trying to put you guys on game as far as the glitchy, cool builds that I have as far as suggestions for you. But I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people hating on it. It is what it is. I obviously know for a fact, the same way you guys know, that 3 6'9" could have just made this video way more easily doable, and 6'9" are just super glitchy. But I want to show you a couple of cool little niche builds that could be something that you could like deem yourself or your own, that's completely different from what everybody else in the freaking game is doing. Anyway, as far as takeovers on this, we have shot, sharp, play, and lock. Like I said, if you want to not run anything as far as indicating that you have a lock takeover or that you're good at defense, you will catfish some people into not realizing that you have good steal rating. If they're really labbing it and really paying attention, they will see that your wingspan is much longer than a normal like 3 hunting build. But for that matter, they don't know. They don't need to know that you have 99 steal. There's no way they'll be able to tell that. So if you want to run something like sharp and shot or something like that paired together, or if you care to run like double sharp or something like that as well, you absolutely can, and just don't even give the indication that you have a lock takeover. But if you want to use your power a little bit and be a two-way as far as just literally getting those steals, then absolutely feel free to. This is not a great lockdown build, I will let you know. It's obviously steel made, but steel again can protect you from even in the interior. Perimeter defense does not protect you from getting back down in the post. It doesn't protect you from cuts or anything like that. Steal protects you from cuts. It protects you from getting back down. It protects you from people targeting you as far as on ball. I promise you, when you pluck that ball out twice, they're not going at you anymore. They're not throwing lanes at you either, because I promise you, you're gonna be able to on those, like, to hawk those as well off the corner. So personally, steal rating, in my opinion, just saves you as a guard and really makes it so you can be a viable 6'3" in this game. And I understand, yes, it doesn't look great. It has 78 speed, 28 strength, low interior defense. Doesn't even have elite perimeter defense. You're not running clamps on this or anything like that either. It even is lacking in the speed with ball, but once again, I think that's a very overrated attribute in this game. 94 ball handle is going to give you a very nice set of badges for that matter too. And then 75 pass accuracy, still plenty good. 92 three-pointer, can absolutely three hunt, and then I believe your three hunting ability and your ball handle paired with acceleration is going to make it so you can really get to the hoop at an efficient rate, even if you don't have dunking. That's my personal belief. If you guys care enough to believe in me as far as this build being good, you can go ahead and follow my advice. If you don't believe me as far as the 6'3" and the 6'6" that we showed, well, like I said, you can go ahead and just take the demigod build that everybody else is using in this game and just copy and paste it pretty much. Really good three-pointer, you can still shoot with it, you still get really good ball handle, you still have really good acceleration, speed, you can still be a lock with this as well, with really good perimeter defense to give you that gold challenger, silver clamps, ankle braces, workhorse, all types of stuff like that. You still have silver glove in the tier 1 as well. I mean, as we mentioned, this is the #1 build in the game as far as point guards or locks or whatever you want to make. 6'9" is really just the soup. It's as simple as that, and you still get contact dunks on this too. Also, as a little bit of a bonus to this video, because as I said earlier, the 6'8" in my opinion are a little bit better for outside oriented things, because I believe it's really frustrating the fact that you would have to put limitless takeoff, slithery, and poster in tier 3 compared to a 6'9", getting them spread out between tier 1, 2, and 3, between slithery being 1, limitless takeoff being 2, and posterizer being 3. It's so much more capable to be a finishing build at 6'9", whereas in my opinion, I believe the 6'8" are really glitchy as an outside. You still have the Hall of Fame quick first step, 89 ball handle. You could go more into pass accuracy, more into shooting with 81 mid-range as well to get you a couple extra shooting badges as well as mini magician on Hall of Fame. Because I really do believe you can make up for the fact that you can't be an elite driving build and actually be able to just get Hall of Fame mini magician and resort to midi fades a little bit better as well. And then again, 92 three-pointer, it really does go a long way. You have elite defense as far as being spread out between everything. Really good block into your D, really good D board to keep up with stuff like that. You get gold box out beast as well. Again, still silver glove in tier 2, and then we still have clamps and stuff like that we were shooting for as well. But again, a little bit unfortunate that it's tier 3 for challenger and clamps. It's a little bit, like I said, unfortunate that you just can't get the super cheese badge tiering that a 6'9" would get. But really good physicals right here as well. We have 82 speed, 82 acceleration, good strength, and then solid stamina as well. And we don't really care about the vertical because we can't get driving dunk high enough. So this is a build that I say is really paired well with an inside big. I know not a lot of people have it for that matter. Maybe you're someone that still believes in your stick ability to be able to get rim runs with no driving dunk. And I think it's still a very good build, personally. Very much so. So anyway, that's all for the video. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, for the drop a like, sub if you're new to them noties. All good stuff. Like always, try to one to 2,000 likes. Also, this 6'8" build right here that's outside oriented is literally just titled Shot Creator. Pretty cool. I guess it's like, you know, pretty basic, but also just the standard like name of it is pretty cool. But anyway, again, we have the Shot Creator right here, the outside 6'8". We have the two-way 6'6". We have the 6'9" demigod, and then we have the 3 hunting 6'3" that still has ridiculous steal as well. So again, I think, in my opinion, the MO of this video, or the name of the game for the vid, or just this game in 2K23 in general, is to not be a defensive liability. I believe to have good steal rating on your build as far as being a point guard is glitchy, whether you're guarding corner or you're guarding ball. I believe you really can make an impact on the defensive end. You're a playmaker, and there's definitely something to be said about a point guard that can actually play defense and guard ball, whether it even is, yeah, maybe just steal made, even though you can't play great perimeter defense. Not to mention, I mean, the 6'6" can still play great perimeter defense and steal the ball. So this is the definition of a two-way right here. In my opinion, this is maybe like the second best point guard build in the game. Again, jump shot speed factored in as well. The shorter you go, the faster your jump shot, obviously. And the 6'8" and 6'9" do struggle with that a little bit. Not a huge deal, but a little bit. But anyway, again, like I said, very two-way oriented video right here. I think to have good defense on your point guard goes an absolute long way, and to not have any defense on it makes you a complete liability. So anyway, that's my opinion. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like I said, if you did, for drop a like, sub if you're new to them noties, all good stuff. If you made it to the end of the vid, put D or put two-way in the comments. Show your sports made all the way through. Anyway, on that, hope you all enjoyed. Again, if you disagree, we can agree to disagree. I truly do believe that these are some of the really cool builds that I have showcased in this year's game. And again, one last time, for all the people that maybe are complaining about these builds being trash or anything like that, you really could just make 3 different 6'9", an outside, an inside, and in a balanced one oriented, or make it more defensive oriented, and they would be the top 3 point guard builds in the game. That's just how it is. I wanted to give you guys a couple different options and be more like, you know, outside the box with it. So anyway, that's all for video. Hope you all enjoyed. From that, take these, man. Peace.